Well, guys, this mafia that plays by different rules just died. Now, so this team of the indicted, Florentino's friend, whom we humor and find very amusing. No matter how hard we insist, today they still haven't won the league. Let's see. Logically, Madrid let it slip at the Bernabeu today, but for whatever reason, these guys didn't seize their moment and tied against Betis. A Betis that usually does that meme thing with Kermit the Frog. Placed and on top of a chair. I don't know if you remember which one it is, and if not, go to Google and look it up. But no, hey, you've put it down as a tie, so it rains less. But it's not that it rains less, because it doesn't rain now, it's that before it was pouring a lot, and now there's just a drizzle that really... welcome Madridistas. How are you doing? I started a little bit rushed. You have a post-match that is very reacting hot-blooded and everything. Right from the Bernabeu in the leaf I did just after the match ended, and I said I was going to make a video now more calmly. Well, I haven't started very calmly, but well, with a slight smile, because hey, I expected them to score, not 17 against Betis, and however they didn't. Especially when I saw that Barca started winning in the 7th minute. It's true that I listened to the match more on the radio than watched it on TV, and well, because it's not about being masochistic, right? But anyway, none of this, I insist, about the draw of the mafia, of those who break the rules, of those who pay the referee boss for more than 2 decades, and about what end. Well, it's very difficult to win leagues. Even I also tell you this, but none of this takes away from the real disaster we witnessed today. Because of course, look, my colleague, the one was who was with me at the Bernabeu, is telling me as he's on his way back to Seville, where he's from. I told him football has incredible things. But he's writing me messages on my phone right now, which I have here. I mean, so wait, maybe hey, there's a draw or something, right? And look, it happened. We've seen a lot of football already. Even so, I insist, this is like climbing Mount Everest with avalanches of. I mean, let's see, it's just. The thing is, if Madrid gives these vibes, well, it's not just about today's match, because I insist, today they could have won. Today, if Mbappe scores, maybe you win, but the crappy gameplay is still there. Not controlling the matches, letting the opponent play at ease and reach you easily. So all of that also happened with Leganés, so it has happened again today. The thing is, well, you know, by playing this way so much, in the end, even though Madrid is a team that, plays this way a lot, ends up winning 95% of the matches like this, but there is a 5% that ends up losing. And today it already happened, right? So, well, there are 3 important things here. One, I will start with the, let's not blame the referees now, okay? It's true that this Omar Sadiq should have been sent off, because he had one in the first half, and the one in the second half is this outrageous act, because look, Fede hits the ball and Omar Sadiq here, I mean, it follows Fede's movement inward of the foot. No? If he doesn't want to do that, he kicks outward. And don't tell me that the ball was close. No, sorry, this is a red card. Or at least if the one in the first half had been a yellow, this one should be a yellow too. But really, I insist, red is like an orange leaning towards red. I mean, well, that's one thing. And then there's also a demand, and here, I see it less, but watch out. He can call a penalty here. Hey, I've seen many penalties called by the paid referees like this. That cross from Alaba on the left, who played as a defender when the Austrian came in, by the way. Now let's move on to the matters of the match. And a push here by Diakhaby, which objectively is a push. But you know how defenders are, because of course, look where he places his arms, right on the back. He's never going to reach the ball, and then he lets go and falls, because defenders have studied this extensively. It's just touch him enough. Destabilize him just enough, and then you fall with him. So that, hey, well, we both got destabilized. So, of course, in short, but that's why I say it's a penalty that most of these are not called, unless the referees are involved. Right? But most of these are not called, so I can perfectly live with these decisions, even though, well, we're in the same situation, right? But here the big ripoff, forget it, was in February. That's when the big robbery happened. And then, well, it's true there have been little things like the other day with Real Sociedad. Let's not forget the number of actions, the yellow cards not given for the number of fouls they commit, etc. But today's thing is unjustifiable. You have to bury Valencia alive today. No matter how much this team has improved, which it has in recent weeks, and yet, well, anyway. Also, Valencia, look, I was telling my colleague, I mean, it's unthinkable for Madrid to go to Mestalla and have this calm atmosphere that was at the Bernabeu with Valencia. I mean, it seems like just another opponent, but I'm not saying that, let's say, Madrid is up here, Valencia is down here, besides, we've already won a Champions final against them and all that. These are people who will never forget it, and well, they are flirting with relegation, and a club genuinely totally dysfunctional with an owner who won't let go of the club and all that, and they're going through hell and all. But man, what I think should happen is that Valencia gets nothing. It is a club that has been involved in where I have been, and they have been involved, and then also don't think that he has been very supportive of the one who received all those insults with Vinicius and such. He has played a little bit with something very ambiguous there, and it's not just the club Valencianism and the Valencianist journalism, not Valencianist. That's so that they would have been received from, well, with a warning that it wasn't going to be a calm match for them, and it has been. And I don't know if the team is affected by that, but the team shouldn't be affected by it because we started just like against Leganés. Come on, this is a piece of cake. This is easy. Look, absolutely dreadful first half from Madrid. In the second, they get into it. It's just really what the team does is unforgivable. Yeah, and you say, is it the players' fault? Well, yes, but there's a coach who has to motivate them. Let's see, today the Mafia tied, fine, okay, but they have a coach who has them super, mega, ultra motivated, and who is also getting the most out of his players, because the Barca squad is not better than Real Madrid's, not by a long shot, but he gets the best out of everyone.
Goodbye.
That's why. So, of course, the guy who has to do that today said this in a press conference, which I've seen many of you reacting to on Twitter, and people are fired up about this press conference with Ancelotti. I've picked out these 3 bits about the game, and then we'll move on to the penalty topic, which already annoys me quite a bit.
Well, neither about soccer nor physics. I think that we played the match. We created a lot of opportunities. We were very close to scoring goals. It may be that a bit of effectiveness was missing, and maybe that a bit was missing in ball recovery, but we conceded very little. It is true that at this moment, to score a goal against us, we have to. The opposing teams don't need to score. Work hard. They scored a goal from a set piece. Then in the end, obviously, we took risks to try to win the game because the draw was useless. We looked for a counter.
And whose fault is that, mate? Well, you have looked for a counter. That's why there was no goal. It seemed it was meant to be. I don't think it's wrong for the Real Madrid coach to want to win against a team like Valencia in the last minutes. But of course, what you did earlier is criminal. I mean, but in everything, basically, in that your team still isn't playing well and continues to have deficiencies both with and without the ball. Without the ball, Madrid is a disaster. You don't know if pressing high when they want to do it, they do it poorly. Then the team splits. There are unbelievable gaps with the ball. It's all incredible improvisation, just incredible. It doesn't matter who is there. It could be Modric, Valverde, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Ceballos when he's there. Well, with Ceballos, they played well, to be honest. Anyway, there was a more or less good stretch. But there is an uncertainty about how we play, which I mentioned in the previous live broadcast. The play that Madrid repeats the most is the one with Vinicius or Mbappe. They request it, and the central defender passes it to them. Hey, really? But is that how you play? So, of course, this gentleman says that now opponents do very little to score against them. And whose fault is it? And whose fault is it? Also, today he takes out Asensio. Asensio, who I think will play in London. Well, of course, he takes him out. You see that in the last 4 matches, lost by Real Madrid. Asensio wasn't there. I think that was the fact. Maybe I'm getting confused. I don't know if 3 or 4. And you say, well, do you think it's a guy that Asensio needs to rotate? Or is it that you need to play footballers? For example, of course, if you put Modric in the midfield, and you also want to have Fede there because Lucas will play as full back, since you'll put Fede as right back in London, I assume. You have to fit people in, so of course you have to move Tchouaméni to central defense, and I'll take out Asensio, who complains the least. Well, so that's that. And sometimes I insist. I mean, this excuse of we have failed, we haven't been lucky. Hey, honestly, you sound like Xavi. But what the heck? The other day, the expected goals from the other day, that Madrid has a very high index and the opponent always a very, very small one. Well, precisely because of that, your team is poorly set up, full of crap, of everything. Because that's not bad luck. In football, bad luck doesn't exist, damn it. We go to the Bernabeu. We see it from above. We see how the players move. La Trefiera, that we were in the last minutes and there was no movement. No one was making a run. It's absurd. They also said this.
Valencia played their game. They did a fantastic job. But honestly, the game should have been won by Madrid without any doubt. No one doubts this. Afterward, if there are things that can be improved, obviously, yes.
I think that Madrid also deserved to win the match for their opportunities. But I saw a Valencia that defended very well. That when they took out the ball, they did it well, taking advantage of Madrid being a disaster without the ball. And that team managed the tempo very well. Also, because you allowed it, because Valencia is not the Brazilian team of 1970, it is not. What happens is that you cannot in any way, after 3 consecutive games at the Bernabeu, one against Leganés, another against Real Sociedad, and another against Valencia, right? You cannot let the opposing team dictate how the match is played. You have to overpower those teams. Hey, you'll face the same Barça, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, and you'll have your problems, but you have to crush these teams. It's not normal, especially when it happens to you 3 times in a row, because you say, hey, it happened once, darn, it was a stumble at home against Leganés the other day, fine. But then you play a good game against Real, you win because Real tied with us. And it was a game that you won by the minimum. Almost at the end, you have to come back after drawing, and it embarrasses you at a point in the game, except for that final push, which is what Madrid has, the pushes, right? That it defines the team. Having surges at the end defines the team. It defines how you motivate them, defines how they come out to the court. And the first part was deplorable. And of course, the surges are not always going to give you the solution. And today was that day. It is, well, unjustifiable that you say, did we deserve to win? What you have to do is control the matches from top to bottom, because sometimes Madrid has drawn matches at the Bernabeu, you know, and sinking at the opponent, having a lot of chances, controlling the entire matches, and you end up tight because the ball didn't go in, and that's fine. But today Valencia had chances. Madrid never gave the impression of playing the way it wanted, of dominating the match at any point. Clearly, you end up putting on this poor performance again.
And they are playing well. Otherwise, I think I could play.
Improve football. I think we have done well offensively because, as I said, we created a lot of opportunities. As I said, there was a bit of a lack of effectiveness defensively, and it could be better. Not so much for the situations that have been created. Valencia, regarding ball recovery, which has sometimes been difficult for us.
Sometimes it's been hard for us, but if you don't recover the ball, never. If the pressure after losing possession and any type of pressure, Madrid does it terribly. The entire season has been poorly managed. Anyone who tells me Ancelotti has a clear plan, just look at the pair of midfielders he has been choosing throughout the season. And you will say injuries. Yes. Now, Ancelotti does not know what he wants in midfield. He does not know what he wants. Well, okay, another thing. Before we get to the penalty topic, Vinicius has posted this. Honestly, they live on another planet. Here he is celebrating with Ronaldo Nazario. saying that it is a special day, that it is an honor to have the same goals as his idol and to be the Brazilian with the most goals in the history of Real Madrid, that he came to this club as a child and he has shown him the path to scoring. Obrigado pelas dicas de tranquilidad, or thank you for the, well, the tips, I don't know what tips are, I don't know. And the calmness, and well, he mentions Ronaldo and so on. That a bad game and ends up saying, thank goodness. But anyway, it doesn't justify a bad match where we know we have to improve, but Madrid never gives up. See you in London. Hey, Vinicius, couldn't you have waited until Monday, man? Wait until Monday, dudes. You live in another world. It's unfortunate. I care a lot about Vini, you know? And I'm actually talking now about the whistles. I also find it unfortunate that Vini gets whistled at. The other day, Vini says, I'm going to win the match. I'm going to win the tie against Real Sociedad. And he did. He failed in many actions, but then he had the 2 or 3 goal-worthy ones, which is what Madrid needs. Today, he couldn't do it. Well, today it was Mbappe who missed, but not clearly, not at the goal or anything. I mean, he had chances. But the thing about booing Vinicius, and then I think it has been less than people might think, because I was at the Bernabeu. They are always whistles or complaints of our, come on. Because he tries so many times and fails in so many that he also succeeds in many, but as soon as he has a game where he doesn't have those 4 or 5 chances where he scores, well, there are people who penalize him for it. I find it disgraceful that Vinicius is booed, I insist. But one thing doesn't negate the other. This thing Vini did by posting this today it's a big deal. Well, Ancelotti on the penalties, precisely because there's another issue with Vini here. Vini can't take them anymore. Forgive me. I mean, the last ones he took were as if you or I took them. I mean, it's incredible. To the center of the goal the other day, to the 4th amphitheater. Hey, no. And this thing about, he said it live, how friendly we are, how we like ego. Look, I'm not egotistical because I let you, right? And I let you take the penalty, I don't leave it for you. Hey, enough already, damn it. Mbappe has to take it. He has taken 724 penalties for Paris Saint-Germain and the French national team. We're crazy. Mbappe has to take it already once and for all. That it seems his head is okay now and he's not going to go hey, maybe one can miss, but that's it. That's it. I hope today Ancelotti said that maybe that will change. They asked him like that. He was categorical, but pay attention to the explanation he gives about the matter of why Vinicius took it. It's shocking.
I remember after the Champions League knockout against Atletico in the press conference, he told us he had substituted Vinicius due to fatigue, but that even if he hadn't, he wouldn't have given him one of the 5 penalty kicks in the shootout. How is it possible that a player to whom he did not at that moment convey confidence to be one of the 5 shooters has the responsibility to be the number 1 in a routine day-to-day shot?
Because I think that in this sense it has been a complicated season for penalty takers, because Bellingham missed in Valencia, Mbappe missed against Bilbao and against Liverpool. Vinicius missed the last one against Atletico de Madrid. I've tried to give him confidence. This has failed me too.
Bellingham missed against Valencia at Mestalla, but he hit the post. The post? It was a penalty, a well-taken penalty. It would have been better if it had gone in, right? By the way, the goalkeeper stepped forward, but they didn't want to retake the penalty because it hit the post. Come on. Man, if the goalkeeper doesn't advance and isn't covering so much of the goal, maybe Bellingham doesn't aim so closely. But, well, that's already been discussed. They cheated us there, by the way, with that and other decisions. But Bellingham took it well. And now to say, no, it's because Bellingham missed. Hey, he missed one. Madrid has taken 15 penalties this year in all competitions. They've missed 5. How can you miss 5 penalties out of 15? The entire Real Madrid with Vinicius, Mbappe, Bellingham. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. One thing, because I know some of you in the comments are going to tell me, what is this man going to do if he doesn't have, if the squad, if they got injured, didn't sign and such? Hey, that's enough. I mean, I know who doesn't make signings when there are absences in the squad that Florentino Perez needs to sign. But enough of saying Ancelotti does what he can. When he arrives at the press conference, they ask him, aren't you missing central defenders or fullbacks, right, or a number 10? And Ancelotti, no. Look, man, it's all well and good that you're a club coach. That's fine. But you need to speak up at some point, or at least not answer that. Say, well, yes, we need it, but the club has decided not to. That, yes, if you go along with all that. I'm not asking you to be Mourinho, who would cause a stir, but it wouldn't hurt either, right? Especially in this situation, because it's incredible. Because a big part of what's happening, obviously, despite doing a lot of things well, is due to Florentino Perez. And we will go into that in the next video. We will go into that because, of course, as I said at the beginning, let his friend, the indicted one, tell us, do whatever he wants, build a good team because he didn't want to sell anyone, because he invented the money, and then thrash you 1-2, and let's see if 3 times. Because you know what? In the Copa final, the ones who should show up with a grudge should be the Madrid team. Hey, these guys have thrashed us twice, now we're going to beat them. Barca will show up with a grudge. Come on, a lot has to change for people to disagree with me. Hope you all do well. Give it a like if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel, please. Comment, share, and that's it. Instead of 3, it's now 4 points, because before with 3, you had to win by a landslide there, so 3 wasn't enough for you. If you tied them in points, they still have the goal. I mean, it's better. The 4th point being, well, if you beat them there by 1 point, it makes it so that with another slip up, they could lose the league. But let me know in the comments. I don't think that's the feeling. As of today, though, football is very strange. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.